The time has finally come for me to choose my March TBR using my TBR jar. I have been so looking forward to using my TBR jar again. There's something just so fun about choosing out a prompt and having a look at the books I already have to decide which books I'm going to read this month. The February TBR picks didn't go the best. I think I thought that the momentum I had in January was going to carry through into February, and it didn't really. I didn't get through as many as I wanted to, but the month's not over yet. There's still a couple more days for me to read a little bit more, but I will be doing a February reading wrap up as well. But without further ado, let's get into the March TBR. I have my TBR jar here that I have filled with lots of different prompts, and I'm going to pick a prompt out and then shop my TBR cart. There's 3 levels on here, you can just see the top 2, and then I will pick a book to add to the TBR. Let's give these a shake. Prompt number 1. Let's go with this one. So the first prompt is a red cover. So I'm going to have a look at the cart and I'm going to pick out some options for a red cover. So here are the red books. The first one with the red cover is Apprentice to the Villain. This is book 2 in the Assistant to the Villain series. I loved the first one. I think I rated it 4.5 stars, and I have been wanting to continue on with the series, so this is very much a good pick for March. The next one I have is Scythe, which is a red cloak here, which says, what if death was the only thing left to control? So this is about actual death, like the Grim Reaper, I think. It might be a little bit dystopian. I haven't read what it's about. This is one that I want to go in blind. So this is an option as well. This one, Rob Rinder, The Trial, I thought it would count as a red cover because it's got a red spine and the author's name is in red, but looking at it next to the others, I don't think I'm going to count this, so I won't be reading this one. And then the last pick I've got is The Housemaid's Secret. Again, this is book 2 in the Housemaid series. It's a trilogy, I believe, with a novella. Again, I really loved the first one. I did rate it 5 stars, but it was because it got me out of one of the biggest reading slumps I'd ever been in. So this is one that I've been really wanting to get into as well. So I think it's definitely between this one and this one. I just don't know what I'm in the mood for. One's like a comedic light fantasy and the other one is like a fast-paced twisty thriller. Oh, I really don't know. Which one should I go for? I don't know. I'm going to read the first line from each book to decide. Okay, this sounds really cool. Once upon a time, it was an ordinary day for the villain, aside from his body being on fire. I think I might go. Let me see what this one is first. I'm so excited about both of these books. Tonight, I will be murdered. Both of these have really, really good first lines. I think I'm going to go with Apprentice to the Villain, because this has been on my TBR for longer. So, the first read of March will be Apprentice to the Villain. That's the first one on my TBR. Let's go for another prompt. I love March as well because it's my birthday month. My birthday is the 1st of March, and that's also the day that I announced, the first day that I was officially working on my business full time. So it's my birthday and my business's birthday. So March is a special month for me, so I would love to have some really, really good books on there. Oh, okay. The next one is a spicy pick. I have read quite a few spicy romances, but it's not something that I gravitate towards often. I'm not too sure how many I've got on my TBR at the moment, so I'm going to go and have a look and pick out any spicy books. Okay, I've picked out 2, which I'm actually not sure how spicy they are, but I think these are going to be the spiciest out of everything currently on my cart. The first one, I actually don't know if it's spicy. It's My Vampire Plus One. I did read My Roommate is a Vampire by the same author, and I think that had one, maybe 2, slightly spicy scenes. I think I'd maybe give it 2 out of 5, maybe, for the spice. So I think this one might be similar. So this is a good option, I think. This one is a fake dating vampire story, which I don't mind, but the other option I've got is book number 3 in the Filthy Rich Vampire series, which again is a fake dating vampire romance. I think this one's more likely to be spicier than this one, so I'm going to go with this one. Again, continuing another series that I'm midway through, so that's not bad at all. Filthy Rich Vampires 3 Queens is the second book on the month. Maybe I need to get more spicy romances. Choose another prompt. I do right to the bottom. Oh my gosh. I'm dropping them. The third prompt is real people on the cover. So I'm going to have... Okay, there's definitely more options for this prompt. The first one I've got is Pineapple Street. So this is a little bit like a woman with money, parties, like glamorous type contemporary book, I think. I try not to read like the full descriptions of every single book that I have because I do like going in blind. But I think for some reason I thought this may be a little bit like a more modern version of like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo maybe, which was a really good, it was a 5-star read for me. So this one is definitely a contender. The next one I have, speaking of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, actually both of these are Taylor Jenkins Reid books. This one is Daisy Jones and the Six. This is about a band in the 70s and I think they split up and no one knows why. And I think it's like an interview style book. So this is one that I've been really wanting to read since I started reading Taylor Jenkins Reid books. The other one is One True Loves. I think this one is just like a romance. It says, I think that perhaps everyone has a moment that splits their life in two, and I'm certain that this is my moment. So both of these are definitely contenders. I also have One Day, which is another romance. This one has like a movie tie-in cover, I think, so it's real people on there. I'm not sure if I actually want to read this one at the moment. It says, you can live your whole life not realising that what you're looking for is right in front of you. I think this follows a couple and it follows them on the same day, like each year, and tells their story that way, I think. I've heard that the show is really good of this, but I haven't watched it because I haven't read the book yet, so this one is also a contender. And then the last one that I'm thinking of maybe reading is this one, is The Last 7 Months of Anne Frank, the stories of 6 women who knew Anne Frank. If you don't know, The Diary of Anne Frank is one of my all-time favourite reads ever. I read The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas in February, which obviously is like a World War II themed book, and I was hoping it would get me wanting to read more about World War II because I have quite a few books on my TBR that are World War II related. This is one of the non-fiction books. So this, obviously everyone knows Anne Frank's story, and this is compiling some of the memories that people have of her. I think I'm torn between these 3. So Pineapple Street, like the glamorous modern times contemporary story, I think. Daisy Jones and the Six, the interview style, why did the band split up, maybe a bit mysterious vibes, and the stories, Last 7 Months of Anne Frank. I think I'm going to go with Anne Frank because it's a little bit different. I didn't want to read any of the romances, I think, because the 2 that I've got so far are like fantasy romance-ish. I think this one is going to be like quite different to the others on the TBR. So the third book on the March TBR is The Last 7 Months of Anne Frank. Okay, let's pick another prompt. This will be for the 4th book. I think I'm going to do 6, maybe 7. See, I want to get a good variety of books, so maybe I'll keep going until I have like a good selection. Oh, I've got 2. I started opening this one a little bit, so I'll keep this one. This is a good one. A 5-star prediction. That's quite exciting. I'm going to go and have a look at my shelves and pick out some books that I think are in contender for being a 5-star. Okay, so here are my predictions for books that could be 5 stars. The first one I've got is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. This is actually my most recent book purchase because I wanted the paperback version. So I bought it when I was at the airport because all the bookshops at the moment currently just have hardback. This one is Stephanie Garber's very first adult fantasy, I think. So I think it's a bit of an urban fantasy, so it takes place in an old movie theatre. So this like follows a character who I think she gets transported to a different world and she believes everyone is lying to her, so there's a big mystery element. So this one seemed really intriguing. On that same note, I have Caraval. I really love the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and I've actually not read Caraval yet. So this is one that I think will be really, really good. This one is a fantasy. It takes place with like a game, and I believe there's some different female POVs, potentially. I might have misremembered that. But this takes place before Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I would quite like to get into this as well, just because I really love that world. The next one I've got is The Hunger Games. This is one that people can't believe that I've never read. I've never watched the film. I don't really know anything about this other than the fact that it is a dystopian. I love dystopian books. I really do think this has potential to be a 5-star read for me. The next one I have is another dystopian read called Q. So this takes place in like a future timeline world where everyone has a Q score, and I think it follows a teacher. It's the new education system. Everyone has a Q score, and this teacher believes that it's like the elite system, like she's in full belief that it's great. But then one of her children has a score that's lower than expected, and she ends up being taken to a government institute. So I think it's a bit of a, are we being brainwashed to believe the things that are good for us when they're actually not kind of thing. And I do like books like that, so this is also on there as a contender. Lastly, I have The Virgin Suicides. This one is a literary fiction novel. So this book is about 5 sisters and they all commit suicide. I think it follows the men after they've gone, or it's them asking questions about why they did what they did, and it sounds like a really emotional book that I feel like it might stick with me for a long time after I read it, so that's why I'm predicting this one might be 5 stars. Okay, looking at my TBR as it stands, I don't think I can pick any of Stephanie Garber's just because there's already quite a bit of fantasy on there, and I am actually not a massive fantasy lover, so I don't think it's wise for me to have so many fantasies on my TBR, so I'm going to put these ones back. So that leaves these 3, 2 dystopians and the lit fic. I think if I'm going to go with a dystopian, it would be The Hunger Games, so I'm going to eliminate Q there. I think just because of how much people want me to read it, I'm going to put The Hunger Games on the TBR for March. So this is book number 4 on the March TBR, The Hunger Games. I'm going to pick another prompt. This is prompt number 5. Ooh, which is it going to be? This one is, a seasonal read. I don't think I have any Easter books. On Mother's Day. It's March. Spring. I think I'm gonna pick a different prompt. I know I shouldn't pick another prompt, but I don't think there's much seasonal going on my TBR right now. For March, I don't really have any books based in March, so I'm gonna pick a different one. That one should be saved for, if it was last month, February, I could have picked Romance for Valentine's, but I don't think it's a good one for March. Oh, this one's a blue cover. I can definitely do that. Okay, the first book I've got that's blue is The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. This one is a twisty thriller. There's family secrets involved. I do think this sounds like a really good one. So I think this one, the concept is there's 2 sisters. They look very alike, but they're very different in personality. And one of them is murdered, and the other one, who survives, receives a note saying that it should have been them. I think this one sounds really good. I've heard really good things about Claire Douglas, but I'm actually yet to read one of her books. So this one's definitely a good contender for this month. I don't have any other thrillers on there so far. Next one I've got is Radio Silence by Alice Osman. So this one follows Frances, and she meets Aled, who is a character in the Heartstopper series. I don't know if this is something that I'm currently in the mood for to put on March, but it definitely has a blue cover. Then I have Room by Emma Donoghue. This one says, Jack is 5. He lives in a single locked room with his ma. I think this one might make me cry. I think this one's going to be really sad. I don't know if I'm mentally prepared to read this right now, but again, it's definitely blue. I think it'll feel blue when I read it. I have Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? Again, this one says, get ready to have your heart broken all over again. Why are all the blue covers so sad? It's almost as if blue symbolises sadness. Next one I have is Before Your Memory Fades. Again, this is going to be very sad. This is the next book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. This is book number 3. These books follow people who can go to a different timeline in the cafe. So it's like a magical cafe and they can go back in time or in the future, but they can only visit people who've been in the cafe and they need to have the exact date and time. It's usually short stories. I think this one will be a very similar format to the others. The first 2 that I read, the first one I'd give 5 stars. I really, really loved it. But the second one felt very a bit samey to the first one. So I'm a little bit worried that this third one will just be again the same formula. So I don't know if I've left it long enough before I pick this up, if you know what I mean. I think this one might be one that I'll read when I'm thinking about the book and I really want to read more, and then I'll pick this up. Then I have The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Again, like I mentioned, I have a few World War II books on my TBR. This is a very, very popular World War II book, and I have not yet read it. So this one is a love story that takes place in the Holocaust, I believe. And it's also based on a true story, so this one is definitely a contender. And I have Stephen King Holly, which is one of his thriller books. So this is described as creepy as hell, so I think it's a thriller, but it's on it's not horror, but it's in that kind of realm. I think Holly is the detective. Again, I don't have a thriller on the TBR at the moment, so this one is a good contender. And lastly, I have Some Kind of Wonderful by Giovanna Fletcher. I have read a few of her books. This is the next one I need to read. I was reading them in publication order. So it says that when the love of your life says you're not the one, what next? So this follows Lizzie. She thinks she's about to get proposed to, she thinks she's about to get engaged in Dubai, but he actually leaves her. So this is one that's a little bit about rediscovery, definitely a more light-hearted book compared to some of the others that I'm torn between. I think it's between these 3. So we've got The Wrong Sister, which is a twisty thriller, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which is a Holocaust World War II fiction based on a true story, and Some Kind of Wonderful, which is a self-discovery, reinvention romance. I think I'm going to go with The Wrong Sister just because we don't have any darker thriller type books on the TBR yet. So this is book number 5 on the March TBR, The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. Time for prompt number 6. Oh my gosh, look, all these prompts are literally stuck together. I'm just going to go for a random one. Our 6th prompt is, any Kindle book. I already know what I'm going to pick for this. I don't need to go up and get my Kindle. My Kindle's upstairs, but I know what this is going to be. I'm going to pick Butcher and Blackbird as my Kindle book of choice. So that one is, I think it's a serial killer romance type book. I loved the Mind F series by St. Abbey, and I've been wanting something similar. And some people have said that Butcher and Blackbird was a little similar, but not quite. And I just think it sounds like it's up my alley, so I'll add that one onto the March TBR. Let's do one more. Our final prompt is Not Your Book. So a book that does not belong to me, that I've borrowed from somebody. I think it's got to be this one. Me Before You. This is my Nana's book, and she's been wanting me to read it for a long time, and I said I would and I'll give it back. She actually gave me all 3 of them, and I do need to read all 3. So I think I should start, obviously, with the first one. Oh, you can see Tilly up there on her tower, that's funny. I've actually been pretty good at reading books that people have gave me, so I think this is the last one, apart from the other 2 in the series. This is the last one that I need to read, so the last book on the Should we go one more? I think we'll go one more, why not? Let's go one more, let's be ambitious. I'm gonna go with one more. I just find it so fun to get all the books off my shelf when I pick out a prompt. This is the officially last one, the last one. Okay, it has a letter in the name. So the author has a letter, an initial in their name. I think that's what I meant by that prompt. Okay, so I have a couple of options for this one. The first one is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. So this says, memories define us, so what if you lost yours every time you went to sleep? Your name, your identity, your past, even the people you love, all forgotten overnight. And the one person you trust may only be telling you half the story. Welcome to Christine's life. This says that it won the crime thriller of the year It's not a new one. It's definitely not. I don't know what year it won that award. So this was published in 2011, so it's definitely like an older one. But that doesn't mean that it's not a hidden gem on my TBR. I haven't heard many people talking about it, but it does sound really good. So that's the first option. Then I have Babel by R.F. Kuang. I read Yellowface by this author and it was okay, but not one of my favourites. So this one is set in Oxford in 1836 and it takes place in Babel, Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation. And it says that it become a prison because students stand against an empire. So I don't really know too much about like the plot of this one. I think it is like a literary fiction. It seems a little bit mysterious. So this is a little bit different to the other ones that I've got on the TBR. Then I have The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Wagner. It was the fact it says that her cat becomes unexpectedly possessed by an ancient demon. That is what made me buy this book. A possessed cat is the reason that I own this book, and I am still just as intrigued as I was when I picked it up. And then the last one that I picked is Sweet Pea by C.J. Scoos. Excuse me if I've said that wrong. This one is another thriller. So it's about a normal girl next door type lady, but she has a kill list. This again gives me ST Abby vibes with the Mind F series, so I'm sort of leaning towards this one. But this one also sounds really good before I go to sleep. So I think it's definitely a thriller vibe for the last book. You know, because I picked out the seasonal book prompt before and I said there wasn't anything that I had seasonal. Sweet pea. Sweet pea is a flower that blooms in spring. So on that logic, I'm going to go with Sweet Pea as the last book on the TBR, and it's sort of seasonal, and it's also initial letters in the name. So the last book on the TBR is Sweet Pea. So to recap, my March TBR looks like this. Apprentice to the Villain. This is book 2 in the Assistant to the Villain series. Filthy Rich Vampire, 3 Queens. This is the 3rd book in the Filthy Rich Vampire series. The Last 7 Months of Anne Frank. This is a non-fiction pick, some of the stories of women that knew Anne Frank. I've got The Hunger Games, obviously, the 1st book in the Hunger Games trilogy. The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas, a twisty sort of modern thriller. Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, which is my Nana's favourite book. We've got Sweet Pea, which follows a girl next door who has a kill list. And lastly, a Kindle book, which is Butcher and Blackbird. I think I have a really good selection of books on this TBR. Looking at it now, maybe I should have gone for one of the lit fic options like Babel or The Virgin Suicides, just to break it up a little bit, but I think I'm going to have a fun time with this one. Again, March is a really special month to me with it being my birthday month and my business's birthday month, so I'm really happy that there's some really good sounding books on there. Oh no, I just realised my monthly reading challenge. I think the March prompt is a year that came out the year you were born, because I was like, oh, March is my birthday month, so I'm gonna do a birthday related prompt. I'll have to check. I don't think any of these books came out in 2002. Okay, I've just had a quick little look on Storygraph, and The Lovely Bones is a book that was published in 2002, and I have that on my Kindle. So I'm going to also add that to my March TBR. 7 physical books and 2 Kindle books on my March TBR. I'm so excited to get started reading them, but first I'll have to see if I can squeeze a few more little books on off my February TBR in before the end of the month. So you'll next see a February reading wrap up from me, and potentially some more smaller videos. When I read the Hunger Games, I will be doing like a little bit of a reading vlog and a movie versus book comparison, so hopefully that'll be coming this month, as long as I do actually stick to my TBR. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching this video, spending a little bit of your time with me. I'm very grateful for every single view, like, comment, subscribe, like everything means so much to me because I am still starting out. I'm very new to this, and I know it isn't always easy watching a brand new YouTuber because the editing isn't great. I'll be honest, I see mistakes in my videos all the time, but I'm just doing it because it's fun, so thank you so much. If you find it fun as well, it's nice for us to just have this little moment where we're having fun together. So hopefully I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye!